Hello everyone, Sarah Nettic here and welcome back to The Pale Beyond. Now, to begin with, I have to say a massive sorry for not uploading pretty much the entirety of December. A lot of people were off at work, and then I was doing longer shifts, and then on the days where I didn't have longer shifts, I was so tired and had so much to do around the house to do with Christmas and that I just had to put something on the back burner, and unfortunately this was kind of one of the few options that I had to do that with. But we're back. We're going to be doing Pale Beyond. They updated the game I think back in December, not long after I recorded the first Miniko's Night Market. So it's updated, it doesn't crash for me anymore, which is nice. So we're gonna hopefully, fingers crossed, hopefully finish the game today, which would be lovely. So we're so close. I just looked it up. There's only 38 weeks, and we're on week 32. If we can keep this going, we win. Okay, let's see if we can do this. And then at the end of the video, I'll explain kind of more. That's quite loud in my ears. Quite loud everywhere else as well, it would seem. Right, so the rule was no more than 2 people collecting penguins. Oh god, you're freezing, so don't send you. Send you. And send you. No more than 3. Because they develop freezing immediately. Oh god, a lot of people died. Tucker. Seeing him again on the Temperance. It was just like old times. Like we were reckless lads again. I'll miss him. Oh. Cavity. Even when Tucker and I are at our worst, he'd keep it in check. Won't be the same without him. Was always saying one day Tucker would get himself killed. We'd all say it. And yet, I can't believe he's actually gone. Didn't always rub people the right way. He was a force at dinner time. His absence will be felt. Oh my god. Okay, well first of all we're going to go to the furnace and I'm going to ask the engineers to cure some people of freezing. Okay, that's still not quite enough though. Oh dear. Enter the request tent. What have we got going on? It's been so long since I played this game. Nutley. Captain, I was running a standard physical examination on, well, I request you meet with me in the medical tent this evening. Is there an issue? Why not present it here? The individual involved would rather this be handled privately. Apologies for sounding so cryptic. Just later, after dinner. That means someone has to die. Like I've already killed so many people on this journey. I must admit, I'm curious what issue the doctor has encountered that requires your summons. Well, I needn't pry. A private matter is a private matter. Mate, you're better than me. Like, all day I'd be like, what's going on? What's happening? Right, medbay. Oh no, why is he locked? Oh, he's gonna die. Actually, no, because at the minute, it's just freezing, isn't it? Put the frostbite people in. You're a frostbite. They're dead from frostbite. You're a frostbite. Oh no, I've got 3 with frostbite. Okay. Okay, well, one person's gonna die this evening. Cool. Oh, someone's gonna die. Big Hosh. See, I'm doing really well at not giving people scurvy. When do we get I'm gonna think. Because I've only got one person that isn't cured of the frostbite and they're gonna die. What does feeding the furnace do? I've forgotten. Does it give me an option to like not give people frostbite? Are you gonna be 6 though? Oh, it's not worth it. Okay. Bulletproof dinner. The crew have their nap. We're really demoralised. That's not good. We return to their posts. The long dark continues. Well, I need to go in here, don't I? Ah, Captain, don't let the cold in. Captain Shaw, to what do we owe the visit? Ah, Kasha, this is actually a private matter. Do you mind giving us the temp for a moment? Oh, very well. Kasha exits. Sorry, I don't think this is worth getting the crew worried over. Why all the secrecy? It's just not a matter worth sharing with the crew. I noticed an arrhythmia in his heart. It's difficult to determine the cause without further examination. But as it stands, my current diagnosis is cardiomyopathy? I don't know if I said that right. Years of adventure finally catching up to the old ticker, eh? Well, it could be genetic. Bah, that's just a guess. Still, some unusual rhythm is no issue. Have you experienced shortness of breath while sitting down? Well, fatigue, a sudden cough when you lie down, dizziness. I noticed some swelling in your ankles as well. Who's to say that... please, I'm trying to help. Yes, I've experienced it. What does this mean? Well, it's manageable, but you'll have to take it easy for the rest of the expedition. No more hauling equipment. Very well. If you're offered a drink by the crew, refuse. Tough, but fair. And, well, it's my belief that Kurt is not fit to lead a lifeboat once we set off. Now, Doctor, that's just not possible. I'm the navigator. You can't honestly expect anyone else to handle that sort of duty. Yeah, you can at least provide guidance, Kurt. Yes, but leading the boats is a separate matter entirely. I can't foreplan the entire sail. Your health comes first, Kurt. The entire crew's health is at risk if I'm not navigating those boats. Kurt, I won't mince words. You could die. We all could. I don't want to argue with you, Arthur, but we won't be getting anywhere doing so. It's up to you, Captain. That's true. Do you think it's worth the risk? Yeah. You're not fit enough to lead the boats. I order you to rest. But, I won't argue. I trust your judgment, both of you. Thank you for seeing reason, Kurt. And thank you, Doctor. It was a good catch. Oh, and let's not tell the crew about this, will we? Don't need them fussing over it, and a man is due his privacy. I'll respect that. Suppose I should get an early night then. Exits. God. One person's dying this evening. So bad at this. What's with you? You've got a keen eye on the medical tent. It's nothing that concerns you. Or you, apparently. Are you bothered you're being shut out of a meeting for once? Oh, you are. Don't care much for secrecy. Coming from you? That's bloody rich. That is rich. You've not told us anything about this man. Right. We're really demoralised. Like, really demoralised. You awake to the sound of distant barking. Seems one of the dogs has been excited by something. Oh, for the love of God. You sprint from your tent. You aren't alone in being awoken by the dogs. Oh my God. At the centre of the campsite, a crack begins to form, followed by more spreading out. The dogs leap from the kennel, sprinting southwards. Wait, wait! Caudle runs across the cracks in pursuit of her dogs. The eyes shift beneath you. We need to turn and run. You hear the sound of something falling and then smashing. The lamps. It's getting warm. Hells, what the fuck is this? Oh no, the flow is splitting. Quick, we need to move. Now! No wasting time. Nutley and Kasha rush out from the medical tent. Nutley carries his bag slung over his shoulder while Kasha's hands are filled with notes. What is this? The ice is splitting. Is that all of your work? What I could carry, yes. Not good. Your tent's going under. What? No! My equipment! Do not go back that way, either of you, understand? Templeton turns to Kurt. How should we handle this? Captain, we need to get out of this tent as soon as possible. Everything past that point is going to be swallowed up. You heard the man. Everyone haul what you can. Move. The crew get to work on the furnace and lifeboats, hauling as fast as they can. With the ice breaking as quickly as it is, you realise you have time to save one tent. The supplies tent, the kennels, or the medical tent. Medical tent. Kasha and Nutley have saved what they could. There's still a crate of tin lemons to be saved. Inspect the kennels. One of the dogs howls in fear. You see the digging tools for the hunts, a worn bolt action rifle are still trapped inside. Junior and Hammond have saved what is already in the Hoshen furnace. The remainder of the spice crates, the engineering tools begin. Right, so medical equipment, we just get a crate of lemons. The kennels we save a dog and get a rifle. Which we do have some. We do still have the revolver and that, don't we? The spice crates. So I don't get that anymore. I don't seem to be getting that. The digging tools just reduces the amount of dogs, but we've not been sending dogs out. The engineering tools. I want the engineering tools because it stops people from freezing. There's supplies. Let's go. Oh god, I have to send people? Oh no. Send the scout. Go, go, go. Flick crosses the gap to rescue the food and fuel supplies. The ice splits further, the tent sinks below. The canopy collapses. Oh god. We have no shelter now. The crew barely make it out from the burning tarp. A few sustained bruises and burns from the frantic escape. Oh, we're in so much trouble. Please tell me it's just one more week after this because I'm gonna cry. Week 37. This is the last week. I've just got to survive one more week. We've settled week 29. 29? I think that should say. Okay. Captain Shaw, personal log. New camp has been formed in the aftermath of the ice split at the close of winter. However, the crew cannot rest at this time. After a long journey, the shore has been reached. In the coming week, the crew will sail out on the lifeboats and in search of proper land. Soon this ice shall be left behind. The ice split proved to be a truly traumatic experience for the crew. The fact that the crew escaped with all lives intact is nothing short of extraordinary. Many supplies were lost, washed away and carried off with the ice. One can only hope they no longer prove a necessity in the final stretch of this expedition. The crew has reached the shore, but now a great challenge presents itself. The ice beneath our feet will not hold for much longer. It is destined to break apart and tear as it did before. Solid ground must be reached in search of the point of rescue. To that end, the crew must sail out onto the open sea. I trust the crew's capabilities. Team of fit and well-experienced sailors alongside a navigator of the calibre of Kurt Darling Though it may seem daunting, this sail may prove to be the most comfortable task for the crew. Sailing is their lifeblood. They are more equipped for this than they are anything else. Okay, it's saved to the game tree. Okay. Gravity had more sense than just about anyone I've met. Can't believe this happened to him. He'd always keep the other sailors right, especially Two Johns and Tucker. He's back with Tucker now, at least. Two Johns on his own, though. Okay, I'll kill him off. Give me a sec. Give me time. Smell that air, Doctor. If this holds, there'll be no better time for a sail, let me tell you. Well, isn't that fortunate? Ah, please be careful out there. I will. We're hitting the open sea. You excited, Quilsey? About time we got off the ice. I would like to be able to lead one of the lifeboats. Want the glory, eh? You're more like Kurt than me. It's not that. I don't want to put my life in another's hands at this stage. Ah, there. We've checked the lifeboat several times over, Captain. They're as ready to set sail as they're ever going to be. A good while ago, I'd have had total faith in those vessels. Now I'm less certain. People here. We're heading out soon. Aye. Nervous? We have to be careful. We don't know these waters. Well, chin up. Better look confident for the crew. Let's go to the furnace. Ask the engineers to up the thing. Oh, does that mean we've only got one freezing person now? The makeshift. I can still put 2 away, okay. And they're dead. So I've got... Does wounded just mean they can't be used? He's frostbite, get him in. Do wounds get worse? I've never had wounded before. It just they can't be used unless. Oh well, we'll soon see. I don't have anything. We've lost our penguins. Bugger it, we've lost our penguins. Into the request tent. Hammond. Captain, we've got a problem. How urgent. The bloody compasses, they don't work. Excuse me? None of them. They've all been going haywire just after winter cleared. Mr. Hammond, we're due to set off on the water. We cannot wait on the ice a moment longer. You think I don't know that? Shit. Calm down, men. We have a clear sight line of land. We don't need compass. We don't need the compasses. This is such famous last words. You know how easy it is for the waves to turn us around? What if fog rolls in? Mr. Hammond, do you have any idea what is causing the error? It looks like a case of magnetic interference, but that can't be right, can it? We've come further south than anyone in history. This may just be the case closer to the pole. We'd best just hope for good fortune. Hope? Great. We're sailing on a bloody hope. Hi, Nutley. We do have injured from the ice split, we do. I've managed to arrange a small batch of crates to treat everyone. Well done, Doctor. Quite ingenious of you. Oh, thank you, Mr. Templeton. We unfortunately won't be able to make any more comforts, but I will treat whoever I can. Oh, bless him. A word, Captain. Speak your mind, Templeton. The animals. In all my years, I don't believe I've ever heard of dogs being able to sail the silver seas. Have you? No, I can't say I have. One of us is going to have to break the news to the kennel master. Her dogs will not be joining us on the ocean. That's my decision to make, not yours. Certainly. But you understand what must be done. Yeah, I don't appreciate being patronised. My intent is not to patronise. It should be clear by now that I've only the interest of the expedition at heart. Trust me, you've made that very clear. Good. It's time we inform Caudle. Caudle isn't a fool. I'm sure it's crossed her mind as well. Yes, but in situations like these, one must be crystal clear. I don't want to leave the dogs. Yeah, this requires tact. You have no tact, Templeton. That's the one thing you lack, mate. Oh, she's all over there. The animals are eagerly trained on the penguin fillet in Caudle's hand. He notices your approach. Captain, I was hoping to speak to you. What's this about, Caudle? I think you know what this is about. It's about them, isn't it? The dogs scramble as she launches the meal across them. Oh. I understand you're going to shoot my dogs, aren't you, Captain? I wanted your opinion on the matter first. Is that so? He looks out across the animals. I'm no fool. I just don't want them to suffer. They've been through so much already. Why am I getting so emotional? Over bloody dogs. Oh, we all have. I'm crying. You're right. The animals continue to scramble over the fillet. These dogs have known me their entire lives. He points at the dog tearing the fillet from its sibling. I used to carry that one around in my pocket as a pup. Don't give me backstory. Do you have children, Captain? Do you see these creatures as your children? Would I be wrong to do so? Stanbury. I don't want to kill Stanbury. Stanbury joins her side. I don't mean to sound so cliche, Captain, but they're all I have. You have us, Caudle. Do you think of some sort of found family? I fear to disappoint you, Captain. I have known you lot for several months. Not the best of my months, either. Yeah, dogs can't sail boats. I didn't expect you to understand. I won't waste your precious time any further, Captain. Get on with it. What are your orders? I don't want to kill them. How many boats have we got? Because I've not got much crew left. I've got 20 crew. I definitely don't want to kill them, so that option for me is out. We can either let them stay and nature can take its course, which they should be alright, or say she can take a boat. Will that make problems? Will taking a boat in the night lead to problems? Oh, Christ. How many boats do we have? Does it tell us? Oh, let's just keep up. I don't know how many... I honestly don't know how many boats I've got. They'll stay here. Let nature take its course. It won't last long out here, sure. Yeah, we need the ammunition. If we're not armed, it will lead to lost lives. We'll have to chase them off, lest they try to follow the sailboats into the water and begin to make your leave. Robin. Yes? I'm ashamed to ask it, but I implore you this one mercy. Yes, you can keep Stanbury. May I keep one? Just one. You can stay, Stanbury. I got 20 loyalty for that. I wasn't going to make her leave Stanbury. Tilts its head at you. Thank you, Captain. I won't forget this. Let Stanbury and leave. It stays behind its master, wary. You depart across the snow. So emotional over flipping dogs. My god. I was like, it'll be fine. It'll be absolutely fine. And now I'm like, nope. Okay. Word spreads quickly that the dogs will not be joining them for the sail. Many of the crew take this last chance to sit with them while they can. The crew have their meal in relative silence. The crew share what little food they have with the dogs. The crew return to their posts. Oh god, there's loads of people to talk to this evening. Eat up, all of you. You will need your strength for the times ahead. Lady Cordell, is this a bad time? This is my final evening with my kennel. I understand. I won't bother you then. It's quite alright. Did you need something of me? No, I wouldn't ask anything of you at a time like this. I just wanted to see how you were faring. Concerned for my health, are you? My thoughts are on the final comforts of these dogs. My dogs. They will not see much comfort in the future. They will starve. They will suffer. It would have been kinder to put them down. Oh, I could not bear Stanbury to suffer such pain. Perhaps they'll find food. Perhaps they'll find a way to live out here. For goodness sake, you're not a child. You know they won't. Right. Really, do you want me to shoot them? For God's sake. May I ask you a question? Are the dogs included in that report of yours? Well, yes. I do have them listed by name. I've taken records of their shifts. But that's about it. I don't know much of the pack beyond that. Would you like to? These creatures have lived rich lives. Perhaps that is of less value than the other names in your report. Not at all. They are just a part of the crew as any other. They were. Still, tell me about them. I wish to know more. But I suppose I should start with Stanbury, should I not? Stanbury was... Aww. Very bad now. But I don't want to shoot a dog. Makes me second guess everything. Some last minute checks? Nah. No? Not last minute. Last minute checks come in the morning we leave. Oh. Well, it doesn't hurt to be thorough. Anything can change. No chances. You seem concerned. Does it hurt to be? No, not at all. You seem to be doing well. Considering the circumstances. I am. Thank you, Grimly. Aye, get some rest. Hammond? Won't be seeing them when we set off, won't we? Like those mutts better than most of the crew. They always pulled their weight, at least. Is that a joke? I miss the wee beasties. You, John. Look at you, lads. You're tough fellas, aren't you? Going to be rough out there. Maybe you'll get lucky. I miss you, little mutts. Who am I supposed to chat with now? Alright, back to your master. Remember not to run in after us when we leave. You'll get frost nip on your paws. Those creatures will be left behind to come our departure. I wonder if they will attempt to follow us out to sea. I understand Cordell will consider them smarter beasts than that, but I am not sure. They will die out here. And considering our resources, Templeton, I'd rather preserve our ammunition. Perhaps. Doubt our Kennel Master will feel the same. Kennel Master has been even more silent than usual after this day's events, understandably so. Perhaps it is best to check in on her. She's alright. What I think will be our last day. Free will. I can't even do that, will I? Okay. I have to do that. The sick are afflicted and stilled through the week by the hope of the morning's sail. The sight of the ocean ahead, it's lifted your spirits. Thank the Lord. Mr. Zack was cured of their wounds. Mr. Zack was cured of their frostbite. Tashi was cured of their wounds. Mr. Gloss is now freezing. Rips is now freezing. Two Johns is now freezing. Reveal your fate? What did it mean by reveal your fate? I'm 1 week out. Oh, this is a decodrum. That's really annoying. Do you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to disable the decodrum because both times it's just been that. And then we'll just go again. We'll continue from that. Oh god, I've got to go through all this again. We've done all this, haven't we? Just skip all this. Because we've done all of this. It's annoying that the decodrum, like, is the bit that bites me in the bottom every time. Ooh. There we go. That didn't load then, that was weird. You've got frostbite, so you can go in. And another sailor can go in because we're going to need the sailors. Request turn, take request. There's Hammond going on about the fact the compasses don't work. Just try and go past all this as quickly as possible. And we've done that. Oh. Just need to make that very clear. I think I've made a few different decisions there. Okay, cool. Where is she? Okay, right, I need to very carefully pick the same. Oh no, I accidentally sent Templeton. Oops. I accidentally messed up on the Templeton things. I accidentally sent Templeton ahead of me. Do I kill them? No, I'll stick with my original decision. Pet stamp and leave. Cool. Oh my god, this is so... Yeah, it's annoying that the decodrum thing happens. Because I'd have to go so far back to win. I don't think I got anything from this today because it was just earwigging. So we shall end the day. Yeah, it says I get +5 to Codron, but it doesn't come in until afterwards. That's rubbish. Okay, that we can fix. That look we can fix. That's fine. Start the next week. The last week. We can do this. Oh, that's what we do. Okay. I can't do that, can I? I can do this though. I can't heal the injured. No requests to do. Oh, sure. Almost ready to set out. Oh, the boat's looking grimly weathered. If you had any timber left, I could look at fixing them up. But we'll get there in one piece. Still need to assign the crew to their stations. Plan carefully, sure. Don't know what we'll face out there. Everyone needs to pull their weight. Anything else, Captain? Thank you both for everything. Right. Preparations begin. Templeton, Hammond, Kurt, Bordle, Nutley and Kasher all board the largest lifeboat. Grimley and Junior man the other 2 vessels. The remaining crew must be decided. All living crew must be allocated to the lifeboats before you can set sail. You have 12 left to assign. Oh god, how do I pick? Well, let's spread out the 2 wounded between the 2 little ones. So... yeah, a wounded and a fit. I know. And then another sailor there. And we'll put on the scientist. Seven left to do. But 2 more healthy in each. This is really tricky, my brain hurts. Oh, I want an engineer on some. Hammond's on the first one, isn't he? If I do an engineer in each. 1 engineer in that one. An engineer in this one. And we've just got 1 scientist left to put in, haven't we? Put it in this one. Actually. Oh no, in the second lifeboat with her husband. They bought the vessel. You are now ready to set sail. You'll not be able to return from this point, are you sure? Go on then. Camp is packed up and the lifeboats are prepared for sail. As you glance back to shore, you notice the dogs sitting on the edge. They pour the water, eyeing the boats and their master. Pulled already the rifle and fires into the air above them. It's enough to scare them off. Everything is ready, Captain. All that's left is for you to give the order. Yeah, let's get off this blasted ice. I'll see you all on the other side. 2:15 in the afternoon. The sun back home, the end of lunchtime. For you, the beginning of a countdown. I'd probably observe the souls on board. Anticipation has quickly melted away, the malevolent stagnation of the feeling... Start again, don't know what happened there. Anticipation has quickly melted away, the malevolent stagnation all were feeling on that flow. Your past and future seem to shrink against the glaring challenges of the ice ahead. Consider your previous sailing experience. Far cry from your time in the merchant navy. You ferried much, but this is undoubtedly the most precious cargo of your career to date. You grip the tiller firmly. Stroke. The boats lurch forwards, bobbing side to side, parting the inky waters. Stroke. You are gaining speed now. Stroke. Off we go. A cadence is reached by all those rowing, the oars lift in unison. Uncomfortable for most, the crew has arranged the equipment as best they can to lift their sitting position to account for the raised edges of the boat. It's not long before Nutley begins a periodic ritual of dry heaving over the side of the boat between his turns rowing. Kasha curls over her camera, paranoid of any moisture that may enter its mechanism. Continue to sail ahead. The fog finally clears to reveal the ice around. We're going to find the Temperance, like the original mission. Extremely small on that list. Oh gosh. There's birds at the top. Really teeny tiny white specks. Terrifying but profoundly beautiful all at once. Continue to sail ahead. It's very dark. By evening you've nearly escaped the ice. The empty ocean is almost visible on the horizon. The boats lurch. The smell is horrendous. Though seemingly enticing to a large gathering of snow petrels, they shoot down from the sky at their leisure, scooping up a meal at a time. They're mackereled ice fish, I think. How do you know that? My father used to take me fishing whenever he could. Hammond stops rowing momentarily. Are you sure about that, kid? 'Cause you've been puking for the year straight at least. The doctor goes red and tries to prove he can hold it in. Kasha furrows her brow, readying the camera. What do you think it means? It doesn't mean anything. A cold current, most likely, where the ice meets the ocean. Grimly calls from his boat. It's a bad omen. The living aren't supposed to be out here. Templeton grumbles to himself, something about superstition. With birds overhead, it's nigh impossible to avoid their droppings. At least it's warmer than the snow. One finds its way into the doctor's hair. A fresh gastral purge follows suit. Kasha looks to you, uncomfortable, shielding the camera. What do you think, Captain? I'm preoccupied with sailing and being shat on. Yeah, sailors have made a career of defying where people shouldn't be able to go. Grimney's no different. I'm no different. She seems satisfied with this answer, taking a photo across the water. Ordell lifts a fish from the ocean and presents it to Stanbury. The animal smells it before shying away from the food. She drops it back into the ocean and buries herself in the animal's furs. We keep going. Oh god, it's wet. After hours of rowing, you finally reach the open ocean. It's impossible to avoid the stingy sprays of the sea as they invade the boats periodically. Everyone is left bailing with whatever they can find. Hats, mugs, even bare hands lift out the water. The crew begin to curse into the night, at each other and at events gone past. It's the only means of protest that doesn't interrupt attempts to remain warm. Or refuse to take part but allow the others. Let the sailors sing their slurs into the night. Out here, each should be allowed their own reprieve. Nutley looks to see if you curse and decides it isn't safe. Templeton, at least, lets out the odd posh paragraph. Yeah, I feel like when conditions are really bad, like, let them swear, let them curse. What? I thought it was going to shout it's like a sea monster or something, then I was like, hell no. Not here for a kraken. Oh god. I was singing something, but I can't quite make out the words. I don't know if I meant to press anything. Oh, I was. Oops. Lightning flashes to the west, followed by rapturous thunder, underscoring the sounds of the sea. Hold fast! The screams are lost in the thunder, as a large, abrupt wave smashes against the boats. Rogue wave! You just about crest it. A moment passes before the other two lifeboats join you. Every sailor knows the tales of rogue waves, freak anomalies that plague seas such as these. You hear singing started by Junior. It soon infects the rest of the sailor folk, defiant against the storm. The song is about three sisters dancing to seduce a sailor. Is there a good ending? I'm beginning to regret. I'm beginning to think there's no good ending to this game. The second larger wave hits the boats. Same again, just about. Sailors change key. I'm going to sing with them. You don't know the words, but you'll never forget this tune. Echoing as best you can, the others follow suit from beneath the tarp. Even Templeton sings. Unite. The third, final, and largest of the waves hits the boats. You're lifted near vertical. Hold your breath. The water crashes around you. Feels like forever before your boat finally crests the wave. The tiller buckles in your hand, your eyes burn from the salt of the sea. All three boats make it across. My lord, how? You finally make land. The navigator is the first to step on solid ground. He turns to the rest of you, sodden. We've made it, ladies and gentlemen. Land at last. Land. Oh my god. Never been more happy. Look out across the ocean. You look out across the ocean and consider the journey thus far. Okay, that was... I don't have anything to put in anything. Their requests. Hammond. The carpenter sent me, says we ought to get building some proper gravestones for the dead. Can't say I disagree. I'll get to it on your order. He leaves. Proper eulogy will also be expected. My god, I've killed so many people. It'd be best if you considered your words now, Captain. This is a difficult time for all. We have progressed beyond the last known location of the Viscount. Answers to its disappearance may lie on this isle. Oh, that was it. The Viscount. Our boat was the Temperance, wasn't it, I think. Captain, once we're through here, I would recommend you scout the area for any sign of human activity. For safety, of course. He knows something. He's shifty. Oh. Approach the engineer. You see the engineer tinkering away at some navigational equipment with his usual sour expression. Shit. He places the equipment to the side and lets out a grunt. Damn thing still doesn't work. You think it could be the environment? Hammond gives you a sideways glance. Maybe. Couldn't begin to know. Not like we have any bloody experience for this. Not a bloody soul has come this far south. Who knows what's ahead? Having trouble? Bert approaches, a more noticeable limp on the man, forcing him to use his cane. What do you want? Still trying to get the compasses working again? Threatened that I might. The look on Kurt's face is one of hesitation as his eyes dart around, doing all to avoid the gaze of Hammond. I have something to declare regarding my previous actions. Carry on, Kurt. Well, I believe that in dire circumstances pride can often take the better of us. Stop stalling. What are you trying to say? I would just like to apologise over our earlier scrap. I got carried away before, and I see it did neither of us any good. You're right there. It's not in me to hold a grudge, Hammond, least of all trapped out in this cold. Enough with the appeals, just spit it out, why don't you? We should be working together, and more importantly, I am sorry. From the bottom of my heart, I apologise. Hammond pauses for a moment while looking toward Kurt. After that moment, he returns to tinkering with his equipment before finally speaking. Accepted. Excuse me, what was that? Apology accepted. Looks like I can expect the two of you to work together from now on. As best we can, I don't think I have another fight in me, Captain. First and last, eh? I've fought before. Would have fooled me. Well, I suppose I'll be off. Best of luck with your adjustments, Hammond. There's no chance of getting them working here. We're relying on you. I'm sure I'm a relic when compared to your machines. I'm relying on you. Ah, I see. Kurt steps away, returning to camp at large. Oh God. Visit the grave site. Let's honour the dead. Read the inscriptions. Here we honour the memory of Gnomes, Tucker, Cavity, and Runstar. What do I do? Ah, there's... Across the ridge. What is that? Inspect cairn? Inside the cairn you find a letter, some supplies, and a bolt-action rifle. Read the letter. To you who finds this message, here lies the final testament of the Viscount. We made our arrival on the east shore of the island. Before moving on, we established a cabin to mark the landing point. There you will find enough supplies to support a crew of 20 for a full year. While charting the perimeter of the island, the crew came across a cavern at the mouth of the central mountain. Captain Whelan decided to split the crew in order to chart the location further. His half had elected to enter the cave through the open stream, while we had been sent to mark the western coast on land. Don't trust the captain. His actions of late have been erratic, cagey. He has avoided all questions from myself and the rest of the crew. This behaviour has only exacerbated since encountering the cave. Enclosed is an instrument that may be needed in some time. If you find said instrument to be missing from this churn, then you will know that the worst has occurred. We are reading this in our wake. Another poor crew sent to this hour. Heed my advice. Turn back. There is something truly wrong with this land. It has felt the touch of the three sisters, cursed to swallow poor sailors whole. If you are wise, you will not allow it to happen to you. Turn back. Signed, Bertram Reynolds, Head Scout to the Viscount. All the crew for dinner. We have the meal. So what did I pick up? Lots of research. We did get quite a lot of research actually. A wave of ease and rest falls over the crew, safe and fed. Dinner ends and the crew make their way to the graves. The eulogy awaits. I can never say that word. I've got to speak to people first. Let's speak to the doctor. Nutley approaches you. Captain, we've come a long way, haven't we? Grown quite a lot in that time, Nutley. Have I? Am I any taller? Before we move on, there is something I have to confess. Something that I've carried on my back this whole time. I don't feel right keeping it from you any further, so I allowed Captain Hunt to abandon us. Explain. I'm going to call him a bastard. Well, when the ship was going down, I saw him. I watched as he grabbed his supplies and began to take off onto the ice. He saw me but didn't say a word. He knew that I was too spineless to do anything. I couldn't even bring myself to tell anyone. He was right. I was too spineless. Until now, at least. And now you know. Yeah, I don't care about the mistake. No, it wasn't your fault. Expect no punishment for this. I didn't help. I didn't help. Every time I could have done something, I froze up, and I'll carry that guilt with me. I'm sorry, the truth had to come out. Do what you will with this information. I'll accept anything you decide, Captain. Nutley walks off, returning to his tent. I'm not gonna. No. Captain, we've escaped the ice. We're on land. We're so close now, Shaw. So very close. We both saw that cairn, Captain. Traces of the expedition which came before us. Shaw, I believe we can still find the Viscount. Our mission can continue. Why is finding that ship so important to you? Because some things are greater than the lives of the individual. I've chosen to live by that philosophy my entire career. I know that after all this time, the specifics of our employ may seem inconsequential. But tell me, Captain, do you think the Apatons would pour all this effort, put this many lives at risk, if they didn't think there was something truly paradigm shifting at the end of it? Yeah, I'll make this clear, Templeton. I have no intention of recovering the Viscount. Our survival comes first. Yes, but... He pauses. We'll speak soon. Good luck, Captain. He stops and turns before leaving. One last thing. What happened to your captain's hat? Dog ate it. He leaves. I've not got my captain hat on. I don't know. I can't remember what happened to the captain hat. Captain, is there something I should be made aware of? What do you mean? Mr. Templeton has been snooping around, interrogating me on my report. It seems as we approach rescue, he's taken upon himself to approve what lies in my writing. He has taken it upon himself, correct? You didn't set him up to this, right? I'll inform Templeton to leave you be. Good. I'm no stranger to people who want to omit parts of my work. I saw it plenty while covering the riots, but I have no intention of censoring this report. A story not based in the truth is worthless. If I have to leave parts out or fabricate others, then was it a story worth telling in the first place? You always gloss it up a little. You turn your head to see Kurt approaching, apparently having eavesdropped on the conversation. What do you mean? Well, a story can still be plenty honest, but some require a little bit of polish. What about your films? Weren't they the honest accounts of your expeditions? Ah, they were. Well, more or less. More or less. Most of it was true, I'm sure. Most of it? I'm not interested in mostly true. Yeah. Yeah, you're right, Kurt. Shouldn't suggest you lie about this expedition. Suggesting nothing of the sort, but I am no stranger to the world of show business. What I do isn't show business, Kurt, it's journalism. I've been around long enough to know that they're one and the same. You should hear some of the tabloid rumours I've read about myself in my time. I'm aiming to be better than the gutter press, Kurt. You've been part of countless documentaries. Surely you would care about presenting the facts. The facts are not immune to artistic licence. I can't believe what I'm hearing. Yeah, I'm certain Kasha has no need to lie in order to paint this crew positively. Of course, of course. But those who read these sorts of things can be tremendously judgmental. Why are you suggesting this, Kurt? I just feel that we've braved so much that we deserve a somewhat flattering write-up, that perhaps some omissions are necessary. Such as what? Many of this crew come from backgrounds best not shared with the public, and more has happened here that should remain on the ice. That private conversation with Nutley. You resigned yourself from the sale. Is that what this is? You want nobody to know about whatever health issue you keep under wraps? Regardless, it will remain under wraps. It's not for the public to know, right? I'm simply stating that for this kind of story, people reading want to be inspired. There's no reason to saddle them with the nitty-gritty. But I'm here for the story, the full story. Not a single solitary soul wants to hear the full story. Nobody got into an Arctic expedition because they heard about the rest of us having dysentery. You just want to protect your own image, don't you? What? Well, no, it's nothing of the sort, but I'm no fool. I see exactly what you're trying to do. We're not your publicists, Kurt. I know. I didn't think you would be so concerned about your image, Kurt. That's your mistake. Mistake? Can't expect me to be the perfect role model you see in the films. I'm only human. I've been married thrice, hobbled once, and been plagued with every vice there is. What I do have is my exploits and my legacy. I would wish you not take that away from me as well. Kasha looks to you. The usual upbeat visage melted away into disbelief. I can't lie on your behalf, Kurt. You don't understand the power of optics. Every part of your report puts my livelihood at stake. Your livelihood or your image. The cold truth is, there's no difference between the two. And you, Captain, do you believe this as well? Free to publish as you please. Of course, but surely you can be encouraged to... No. No? I'm so disappointed in you. Please, I'm simply saying that sometimes it's better to reframe the reality for a better story and feed your ego. That's all you care about, right? It's all I have to care about. Kasha's face has shifted yet again, now to one of cold cynicism. You're pathetic. Kasha storms back to her tent, as Kurt gives you an uncomfortable glance. The man looks shaken by the response, and above all appears to be deeply embarrassed. Without a word, he staggers back to the heart of the camp. Let's do this. I don't know what I'm going to say. I'm sorry. The crew are called together before you. You tentatively lift yourself onto a crate. Hushed whispers roll through the audience. Kasha readies her ledger and pencil. They once again await your next words. How will you deliver them? Not that. Wait a loss. Let's acknowledge the loss. The loss hangs on your words. You dare not speak without acknowledgement of exactly that. The crew look to you, miserable, the scars of the sail past exposed under the light of day. Like to begin by honouring those we have lost. The eulogy begins. The Stoke brothers begin a tune together in remembrance. Read out the names of the souls lost. Include the names of everyone. You recite the names and stations of all lost to the ice and ocean. Each individual name seems to sting different groups of the crew. But by the time you're finished, not a single soul is left without their affecting moment. Include the names of the lost dogs. May all be granted their rest. The eulogy is ended. The crew look to you for answers. Kurt speaks up. Our work's not finished yet. We still have a mountain to scale. We all saw the cairn from the Viscount. Across that path is safety, a cabin with enough supplies to last us until rescue. Dumpton clears his throat. What is our current priority, Captain? We must reach that cabin. We must reach rescue. We're heading home. Don't care. Goodbye, Templeton. Templeton throws you an unsure look. The assurance of the solid ground seems to stir those listening. Well said, Captain. Indeed. Well, we don't have much time. Best be moving on. Back to work. The crew are granted the time they need before they eventually disperse, returning to their roles at camp. Right, I think that's it then. No one to talk to. You dream you're back on the Temperance. Wake up shaken. You awake shaken, literally by the engineer. He stands over you bug-eyed. For a moment you think you're back on the Temperance. What's going on? It's Caudle. What about Caudle? There's food and supplies missing from the stores. I think she's trying to make a run for it. Lead the way. After getting up, the two of you charge out of the tent into the snow. I found tracks heading up toward the mountain pass. You follow the tracks away from the camp. She's going to shoot him, isn't she? Half an hour before you finally spot her ascending the dead mountain. Shh, there she is. Yeah, go back to camp, I'll handle this. I'm not letting you screw this up by yourself. That's an order. Fine. He departs from whence she came. She doesn't like people, does she? You creep up towards her silhouette. Get closer. Caudle picks up on the sounds, slowly turning back around to spot you in her line of sight. Here's her throat. Captain Shaw, what do I owe this surprise? You know full well why I'm here. Can't say I do. I have no reasonable idea of what you're trying to tell me. If you wish to make paranoid accusations, you should inform me on what those accusations are. You think you can just abandon the crew in the dead of night? This isn't a matter of can, it's the question of should, and from my position you've really left me with no alternative. Please tell me why you're trying to leave. Stanbury's expecting. And you should be doing what's best for those pups. What does it look like I'm doing, Robin? You leave, you're ensuring their demise. Perhaps, but there's more of a chance out here than with the rest of you. I'm not going to allow Stanbury and I to be a part of this expedition any further. Do you really think the two of you would be better off without the rest of us? I do. Those puppies will be my new litter. I'll start over. Certainly not the first time I've had to do that. Snowfall's begun to sit on you both. Yes, the theft of the expedition supplies, please. I've given you my dogs. I'm just taking what I'm owed. This voids my contract. You should have come to me first, Caudle. We both know that wouldn't have worked. And let me convince you now. I'm listening. This isn't about the mission or the money for me. You can have my pay. I just want to see us home. Would you be willing to put that in writing? You have a pen? She walks over to you and produces a pen and her contract. Sign the amendment. Acting Captain Robert Shaw. Two of you begin the long trek back to camp. Stanbury follows patiently. Not a word is spoken on the journey back. Gain our fuel, our food, and our rifle back. Oh, bless her. To feel like she can't come and talk to us though, that's horrible. Kasha, careful. Turn your head to spot Kasha perched precariously over the edge, her camera in hand, lining up another shot from her position. A great shot of the horizon, trust me. You've a good shot of falling to your death. Get back over here. The ground isn't safe. You can't trust anything beneath your feet this high up. Kasha doesn't heed their warnings, instead lining up the shop and snapping it cleanly. She okay? There, no issue. And this just might be the banner image from my report. If the civilian is done being foolish, might we move on? Kasha nods and turns back round to join the rest of the crew, only for her to slip on the ice beneath. You lunge forward and pull Kasha so she isn't hurtling over the edge, but her initial stumble sent the camera falling below. That was a close one. My camera! Be thankful the camera took the plunge and not yourself, young one. Despite reassurances, Kasha moves back to the edge of the cliff, peering over, searching for her camera. I can't lose it. Everything from this expedition was on there. Wait, I see it. Nonsense, it's a blip on the rocks. You can't see the ground from this distance. No, it's not on the ground, it's snagged on the ice. It's not too far down. I can climb back down and... Not a hope. You want to go back to climbing? If I lose that camera, my entire reason for being on this nightmare goes with it. I'm getting that camera. Turns to you. Captain, we have to do something. Oh, my head's telling me it's just a camera. You've still got your notes. My notes aren't enough. The world needs to see those photos to believe this. Aren't they? You have the testimony of the rest of us. The story comes from you, not that machine. Kurt steps forward. I'll do it. Have you two gone mad? It's my understanding that was a prerequisite, I don't even know how to say that word, for attending this expedition. Let's go, Kasha. Kurt affixes the rope to Kasha, locking her in tight with the climbing gear. Leave the climbing to me. As a civilian, your safety is top priority. I would suggest rethinking this plan of action. We cannot afford to lose our navigator. It's because I'm the navigator that I'm going down. If I can't save the camera, no one can. That would be the preferable option. Kurt pays no heed to the protests of Templeton, continuing to climb down with Kasha in tow. I realise it's got very dark. Thank you. Don't thank me until the job is done. Bad luck otherwise. Light down just slightly. They're risking their lives for a bloody picture box. You should stop this, sure. Oh, let them go, it's their choice. Kurt and Kasha begin to slide down the wall of the cliff at a steady pace, Kasha keeping her eyes on her camera at all times. Easy now, easy now. You can do this, Kurt. Reassuring yourself isn't very reassuring to me, you know. Okay, I think I can get it from here. Think, both of you, please, don't make any rash movements. She collects the camera. And there we go. Now get back happy, you madman. Job well done. So much for bad luck. Don't say that now. Yes, now let's climb back up. Kurt begins to adjust the lines of his climbing gear, prepared to lead Kasha up, but the extra weight from the camera causes the rock beneath Kurt's feet to crumble, and the former film star goes hurtling back. Oh god. I thought this game would be over about 15 minutes ago, but... He snaps to a standstill, the line between himself and Kasha still intact, but the weight of the man's big fall pulls Kasha back from the face of the cliff. Blast! Kasha, are you alright? I can't see the cliff. What's happening? This blasted line won't hold with me. Pull us up. The rest of the crew hung back, lest any added weight at the cliff's edge causes an even more dire incident. As you look down, you see the pair flailing, helpless. Kasha spots you. Captain! Kurt dropped the camera. He reluctantly drops the camera into the void, command the crew to start pulling them up. The crew scrambles and starts pulling up the rope. No doubt the dangling weight of Kurt is also putting a strain on the back end of the rope as it's tied to a jagged rock at the peak. Notice the rope begin to fray at the edge. So does Kurt. The navigator pulls out his knife. Kasha! She looks down at the man as he shouts. I always promised myself I'd lose a few bastarding pounds. Bit late for that, I suppose. Oh god. Don't you dare, Kurt. He isn't listening. You can pull her up, Kurt. You can do this. You see a twinkle in the man's eye. You really believe that, Captain? You're Kurt. Of course you can. He puts a knife in his teeth. He starts to swing his admittedly impressive weight. He reaches the mountainside, takes the knife and cuts his line. before gripping to the side of the mountain and returning the knife to his mouth. He begins to climb. Kurt? The navigator responds through the metal between his teeth. They faked this stunt in my third film, but it's worth a shot now. The man climbs until he's beside Kasha and continues gripping the mountain. Pull the rope. Heave ho. The crew begin to pull the rope. Keep going. Kurt and Kasha are pulled to safety. Good God. If they reach the peak, Kurt bursts into relieved laughter. Don't laugh, that was terrifying. We made it out alright, I think. Still, that was, well, just like the movies. Yes, it was all quite daring. Might we move on? I'm glad both of you made it out. I was so worried. I can't believe the show business fake would be actually daring. Barely believe it myself. But it happened, and believe me, this will be a full page in my report. I don't require the credit. Stop the fumble, Kurt. You're allowed to be proud right now. You're a real hero. Mate. The game's gonna give me a heart attack. The crew finally crest the mountain top. Grabbing everyone's attention is a cave in the rock wall. Cave. A good spot, some shelter from the winds. Still, what lies inside may prove a danger. Crew get to work, setting up camp at the peak of the mountain. Camp is set up. Okie dokie. Oh, there's requests to do. Okay. Game is longer than I thought. Simpleton. Captain, it is time. We are at a crossroads and a decision needs to be made. We both read the Shern. We know the location of the Viscount lies in this cave. We are this close. Our mission's end lies in wait. Survival is our goal. Oh, what do you expect to find there? Answers, for better or worse. What we read is correct. The shore cabin should hold enough rations to last us a full year. We can afford the risk of missing a single rescue ship. I think it's worth it. Yeah, don't care if we're heading to shore. You should inform the crew of our movement as soon as you leave this tent. I know you'll make the right call, Captain. Yeah, bye-bye. Oh god. Oh, there's a little heart. That's really cute. I haven't actually got anyone that's frozen, which is quite nice. You pass the tent and are quick to notice what's going on. Kasha, the intrepid photographer, standing close to the doctor with their faces pressed closely together, is alerted to your footsteps and opens her eyes, eyes which quickly widen as you're spotted. Quickly she and Nutley pull away from each other, their heads nervously swivelling around the tent, Nutley letting out a punctuated cough. Captain, you could have cleared your throat or something. We were just, sticking together for warmth, a clever decision. Yes, quite clever. Very clever of us to be doing that. That was definitely what we were. I think our good captain was joshing us. That offshore is quite dense, and that would be a greater issue for us. Congratulations, both of you. Oh, thank you, Captain. We should be thanking you, sure. Placing us together in one tent for a year certainly fostered conversation. I never considered myself a matchmaker. We spoke at length, at first about his unexpectedly vast knowledge of ice fishing, and ending with casual conversation about our favourite newspaper strips. Well, it wasn't entirely casual. What do you mean? I knew you didn't notice it. Notice what? Kasha clears her throat before putting on an affected voice, dramatically quoting her past statements. Why, Doctor, I think you'd be a great subject for my next report. I'm sure you wouldn't mind a write-up on your interesting life. A handsome young medical prodigy, you must be a bevy of suitors. Doctor, there is this excellent seafood restaurant in the capital. We should absolutely eat there when we return to land. Kasha chuckles to herself. I used we for goodness sake. I was beginning to think you were oblivious to all flirtation. I recognised some of it. I was just too nervous at the time to respond. Though it's true, I did think you were just passionate about seafood. I expect nothing less from you, Nutley. I don't know whether to take that as an insult or a compliment. but we couldn't help ourselves. Honestly, I deeply admired her passion for her craft, her headstrong way of thinking, and how she was so focused on her future. Everything I wanted in myself. And I admired his courage when up against the fears in possibly the worst situation possible. That's the kind of thing they make films out of. And just as I thought we were winding down, I told her I want to see her again after we returned to civilization. Suffice to say, I was surprised that he would just blurt it out. Surprised myself. Before that, I had long since stopped considering that we'd make it back. Of course, that led to a new conversation, all through the morning, and before we knew it, we were having a romantic embrace at the south of the world. That is until you walked in, Captain. Yes, it was rather inopportune of you. Kasha pauses for a moment. You don't take issue with this, do you, Captain? It's when we be holding the wedding. Excuse me? Ah, good one, Captain. Assuming all goes well, of course. Not for another year or 2. Or 5. Now, Doctor, you know me. I like to live fast. 5 years is fast. I think we could whittle you down. I'm joking, of course. It's far too soon to speak on that. Well, forbidden or not, we're at the end of our journey here, I hope. Matters of the crew are in the past. Sail home with Kasha. Well, it's something to look forward to. Been a while since we had that. Agreed. I'm going to turn a light on. This is very dark. Bulb a minute to work. It's one of those energy efficient ones. So, get sunlight in a minute. I wish you both happiness. It's what you deserve. Knocking everything over. Thank you, Captain. Now, if you'll excuse us. You. Let's speak. Ooh, navigator and engineer. You notice Hammond and Kurt huddled around the boiler deep in conversation. As you approach, their heads perk up, noting you. Captain, didn't see you there. Apologies, Captain. Means we're both caught up in our work. My work? You're just watching me, Kurt. But you did manage to pick out the materials. We were just replacing the spyglass I cracked on the mountain. It may not be of any use in this cave, but you never know when we might need it next. Aye, once again my boiler comes in handy. It's good to see you two aren't bickering again. Oh? Aye, we're past that now. Besides, bickering at this stage would make us look rather... I looked at the last word and it didn't register. On top of that, I have a healthy respect for Hammond, one of the most capable men I've ever met. And I would hope he has the same respect for me. I still think your films are shite. Upon hearing that, Kurt puffs out his chest. Oh, so you've seen my films? Just the one. And what did you think? Pure bollocks. I should have figured. I haven't seen enough to judge. You've never seen my films? Well, I hope you would amend that once we return to civilization. I can't get over all the inaccuracies in them. What inaccuracies? You take me for a fool, Kurt. I know a stage shot when I see one. Well, they did certainly clean up a lot in the edit. I don't get it. What don't you understand, chum? You're a proper bloody navigator, Kurt, and a damned hero. I've seen it with my own 2 eyes. Thank you. But why do you star in all these phony films? I wouldn't call them phony. And well, they may not be in the picture of accuracy, but they have a power to inspire people, more so than any true story could. I think the real experience is more valuable. There was a time I'd argue against that, Captain. But this expedition has been one learning experience after the other for me. Now a lot of that to Hammond. Me? Yes. You've done an excellent job in humbling my ego. It was a massive ego, to be fair. Hard to miss. Ah, isn't that the truth? In fact, it's clear that if there's one thing I'm in need of, it's someone who can keep me grounded. Get to it, Kurt. What do you want to say? I was wondering, would you consider... Spit it out, would you? All right, would you consider joining me after this, on further expeditions? As an engineer? Yes, but also as a level head. I need someone like you. I'll think about it, Kurt. I think Hammond would love to. Don't be putting words in my mouth, Captain. All I said is that I'll consider it. I didn't like any of those options, to be fair, but you will consider it. Aye, I will. Hammond pulls up the replacement spyglass. Anyway, here you are, all finished. Incredible. Great work, Hammond. No problem, Kurt. What does that say? Kahurangi. What? My real name. Kurt's just for the media. Karangi Tohoro. Alright, Karangi. I'm really struggling with that. See you around, friend. You too. Speak to the Colonel Master. You, I wish to speak with you on a matter. What matter? Concerning your report. But simply, I have a story for you to include, regarding who I am. You're a Kennel Master. That is true, but not the whole truth. Well, this is sudden. I have been curious about your past. I've no doubt you were. Cordell turns to Kasha as the reporter quickly scrambles to gather her notepad and pen. Now I'm certain you have heard them call me Lady Cordell. Yes, frequently. I asked around, and apparently it was a monkey granted to you due to how you spoke. Well, those who dub me with that name have no idea the irony in doing so. The truth is, I am a noble, or rather I was. You were what? Are your ears failing you? I care not to repeat myself. I was born and raised within the nobility. I don't mean to call you a liar, but that's just a big claim. Ingrid Cordelia Weston. What? You keep your ear to the ground often. I'm sure you've heard of her. Yes, actually. She's a distant relative of the monarchy. Had a seat as an MP for a brief period. Went missing unexpectedly. Well, I am Ingrid Cordelia Weston. Let her continue, because I honestly don't know what to say. I have all the proof I need to show you. No need. I believe you. You do? It would certainly be an odd thing to lie about. I assume you are aware of the political system, Kasha. To no end. Researching it was possibly the most dull and harrowing part of my last report. And yourself, Captain? Vaguely. Then allow me to refresh your memory. As a distant cousin of said monarch, I was placed in one of those parliamentary seats. As you can imagine, I have no interest in being an MP. My aversion towards human interaction was no different in my youth. From the age I received my first dog as a gift in my childhood, I had much preferred their company. Surely there was once a time when you weren't such a recluse? Well, you have encountered and interviewed many of the nobility in your time, correct? Correct. Would you choose to spend your time amongst these people? Fair point. So this whole time you've been travelling with a runaway MP? Yes, I suppose it does sound quite unusual. Find it shocking you were never found. Perhaps that would be true for another in my position, though they would never say as much. My departure was quite mutual. But why did you leave? The reasons for that are quite simple. I refused to live that life any longer. In that world, in my position, certain things are expected of me. Act with decorum, attend every social event, keep your real self hidden until you're considered suitable to be shipped off into a political marriage. The grim reality, one I wanted no part of. My choice was clear, and I didn't hesitate in my thought for a moment. I left home in the dead of night, taking only two things with me. My certificate of birth, for reasons more practical than sentimental, and my dog, for reasons more sentimental than practical. I started a breeding kennel in the capital, earned the moniker of Lady Cordell among the common folk, and from then I was free. It's really nice to see her face in that, smiled, relaxed position. Free to feel the ground beneath my feet. As Cordell speaks, Kasha intently takes notes. I see. The trapped in a restrictive role in society, you broke free of your chains, yearning to be independent. I suppose, yes. It's like a wild pack of dogs, able to roam free. Please do not include a surface-level poetic interpretation of my actions. Poetics are my calling, but okay. Have you ever considered returning to the nobility? Not even slightly. Thought that might be the answer. That life is simply not for me. Thank you for sharing, Cordell. But why have you shared this with me? Why now? My report, it will expose your identity to everyone. Why would you allow that? Because I trust you to tell my story. And I no longer have anything to hide. Thank you. I promise I won't let you down. I'll tell the whole truth of your tale. I know you will, assuming you leave out that tripe about wild dogs. And yourself, Captain? Speaking of dogs, how is Stanbury? Faring well, still pregnant. What? Stanbury is pregnant? Yes, quite fortunate for me after what happened to my kennel. What do you intend to do with the litter? I intended on replacing the kennel I lost, piece by piece. Stanbury will birth a new generation of sled dogs. So you'll be continuing your line of work? Yes, I'd much sooner begin again as a kennel master than return to the nobility. Agreed. So that's your entire story? More or less, yes. I'm sure Captain Shaw has no objections to this tale. What say you, Captain? Yeah, I would never have expected. Thank you for sharing. I appreciate your listening. I can't believe you would trust us with... Thank you, friend. Do not mistake this for closeness. I simply trust your credentials enough to consider you a professional. But you're welcome, friend. Aww. The cave entrance. I'll have a look. You notice that the compasses are pointing directly towards the cave. I don't want to search for the ship because everyone's just had really happy endings. Yeah, we're just going to go for rescue, I think. The crew finally descend from the mountain. There's penguins! At the colony? A large colony of emperor penguins, enough to live on for some time. This old cabin from the original Viscount expedition, designed to sustain life for months, or possibly even years on the ice. Enter the cabin. We can talk to people. Stanbury! Good girl, Stanbury, good girl. Stanbury lets out a playful bark. Speak to Cordell? Well, Captain, I suppose we've made it. We should be safe from here. That is, if our rescue ship is indeed coming. I suppose I shouldn't cast cynicism on this accomplishment. We should be proud to have made it so far. Yeah, we wouldn't have made it this far without you. Or Crean, or Rosso, or Pascal, or Stanbury. I did not accomplish much on my own, Captain. All I ask is that my kennel be remembered. It will be odd to return to land. My name will be in the papers soon. No doubt I'll be recognised from my past. What will you do once we return to land? Certainly won't be returning to my past life, even if I am known. I believe I'll find a new home. Start over with a new kennel. I've done as much before. I intend to do so again. With any luck, we will not meet again. I hope not. I hope we meet again. Well, we'll see. Frankly, you seem to bring misfortune, Captain. A jape, of course. It has been interesting, Robin. Promise me you will take care of yourself. Aww. Okay, this is definitely endgame, surely. I can't believe it. A moment of rest after all this time. This cabin is like a sanctuary in the oasis. Sorry, that sounded overly poetic, didn't it? Like something Kurt would say. You've made it so far. I'm proud of you, Arthur. Thank you, Robin. I owe it to you. Do you really think rescue is coming soon? I'm sorry to turn doubtful, but these are perilous waters. We know that all too well. If not, we still have enough supplies to last us a while. And then we make life out here for another year. Well, this cabin is certainly more comfortable than the ice. Suppose I should see the silver lining there. You know, I still thought it all hopeless. Even after leaving you that letter, I had very little faith in survival. And yet, people were relying on me, Captain. I can only hope I didn't let them down. I'd be happy to vote with you again, Arthur. I would too, but I can assure you I will never be sailing again. Ever. I've had more than enough for one lifetime. I never felt good enough to carry my father's name, but now, well, I thank you. Keep in contact. If you need a haircut any time, I'll tell my father to treat you for free. Captain, I'm putting together the finishing touches on my report. Not much else to do while we wait for rescue. Yeah, you best win a Fentler Prize for this, Kasha. You deserve no less. It's not about awards, sure. It never has been. This was a story I wanted to tell. Funny, Captain. The reason I took on this story, interest in exploration, was waning. I grew up on the stories of Kurt Darling. These great explorers were like legends to me. I didn't want that passion to disappear. I never thought I'd be part of a tale of sheer endurance myself. Seems like a dream. Yeah, you're one of these great explorers now. Your name will be in the history books. It is bizarre to think about, Captain. Regardless, I hope you continue to thrive, sure. You deserve that much. In fact, remember to keep in touch with me, especially if you have a good story to share. They'll write books about you one day, Robin. I know I will. I must admit, I don't much care for waiting around, Captain. These old bones are beginning to stir. We don't have much choice. Rescue is coming. Of course, I'm not suggesting this is wrong. You've more than made the right choice. Oh, I just realised. My career as a navigator is just about over, isn't it? We just reached the last great uncharted part of the world. You know, when I grew up reading about the great explorers of old, I always had dreamed I would be the one to plant that final flag. I may be an old man with a limp and no flag to place. I managed it, didn't I? There's always more world to discover, Hurt. You're not wrong. This is the last great discovery we know of, but who knows what's out there? Who knows? Maybe my exploration days are over. Now's as good a time as any to call it a retirement. I'd still raise funding for the field. Don't want to leave folks like Hammond behind there. Maybe I'll move to the theatre. There's some stories I want to tell, not about this expedition. Or any. About home. The islands I left behind. Yeah, you've more than earned your rest, Kurt. Thank you, Robin. I should take all of this as a sign to wind down, shouldn't I? I'll always be in contact if you want to work together again, Robin. I'll make sure we do, no matter the medium. Oh, I've got to speak to Templeton. He's not going to be happy with me. Let's get settled in, Captain. I imagine we will be waiting for quite some time. Days pass in relative silence. Templeton checks the horizon each morning, but still no sign of rescue. Days begin to drift by. There's a sudden rumbling. Did you hear that? Best check, Captain. There's a profound shake and the sound of a large blast. What? I'm so glad we didn't go in there. A change to the usual cold peppering of snow catches your attention. It's warm. In fact, not snow at all, but ash falling from the sky. Are we in trouble, or are we volcanic? The man seems clearly defeated. That's it then. Viscount is forever lost. Yeah, a shame, but we're safe. That's what's important. For how long? How long will we last here? A horn rings out, cutting through the winds at camp. I didn't just hear that, did I? Off, off! Wait, is that Minerva? That's it. That's the rescue ship. Okay, it said that was something that I had to do. The guy, we're going to be rescued. A massive icebreaker pushes through the waves and arrives at the shore. Hello, let's all get on. Lifeboats are sent to shore. It isn't long until all that remain are on deck. Before you stands an old lady draped in finery. Face you recognised from the Tinned Peaches, Minerva Appleton. Templeton steps forward as Minerva and her crew approach your group. Wait, she looks familiar. Is that the woman from the tinned food cans? Captain, I never expected Minerva herself to travel herself. It's commendable. Indeed. You best allow me the introductions, Captain. I'm certain she will have many questions. Templeton approaches the group. Minerva, it is good to... Where is the Viscount? In the burning volcano. Rufus Hunt has much to explain. Where is that man hiding? Hunt? Well... Rufus Hunt went missing shortly after we became stuck. Disappointing, but hardly surprising. You should all consider yourselves fortunate. Had we not seen the eruption, we would have not found you. You are Officer Robin Shaw, correct? In Hunt's absence, that would make you acting captain, if I am not mistaken. That would be correct. If what you say of Hunt is true, you have been leading this expedition for quite some time. Minerva Shaw has... Richard, please, I am speaking with the captain. Yes, but your counsel will be appreciated once I request it. For now, I would like to hear from Shaw. You have been waiting a year for this conversation, Shaw. I shan't waste our time making small talk. Stand here without the Viscount. Why is that? The words of the Viscount's first mate warned us to stay away. Odd that you would turn back on a year's work on the word of a long-departed stranger. I won't mix words, Shaw. From what I understand, you made the conscious decision to abandon the mission you were hired for, breaching your contract. An offence of this degree will see you answering to the court, Shaw. Do you understand? I accept whatever legal punishment is expected. I know I did the right thing. If nothing else, your confidence is admirable. Do any of you remaining take issue with this? Who's loyal to me? Kurt, I would stake my career and reputation on the work of Robin Shaw. My word may not be worth much anymore, but it's true. Who else is loyal to me? Oh, Cordell. With all due respect, Lady Apperton, it would be a great error to apprehend Shaw. Without the captain's diligence, this crew would have starved to death a long time ago. Who else? Kasha. I can vouch for Shaw's work. I have multiple recordings and documents should you need them. Nutley. I struggled for quite a while, but Shaw pushed us on. I wouldn't be here if it were not for the captain's leadership. Oh god. Ah, the dead automatically abstain. Oh, I'm in trouble then, aren't I? Yeah, no, he doesn't like me. Oh god. Arthur likes me. Kurt likes me. It's gonna be really... Oh no. Yeah, now I'm standing up for me. I am. That's pitiful. I think I'm gonna die. That is enough from you all. I've heard enough. You have your defenders, Robin Shaw, but I do not see enough reason to believe them. You will return to land with us, but as a prisoner. Once you return, you will be tried by the courts, understood? Minerva's men move forward, restraining you. You are led back to the ship. God. You sit in your cell and slowly get visited by those still loyal to you. Captain, I suppose now it's just Shaw. I cannot believe you're being held like this. It's not right. Will they do the same for me if they found my work unsatisfactory? I know not what lies ahead, Shaw, but I'm worried for both of us. Goodbye. I can't believe that they would just lock you up like this. My own record can attest that this expedition was far from the smoothest. Yet, it pains me. You did what you could, to be punished for that. I will do all I can to spread the word, to see you freed from this, Captain. Even if the Appertons attempt to censor my report, I won't give up on your story, Shaw. Shaw, I fear this may be the last time we have the pleasure of speaking. Stanbury lets out a sad whimper as she approaches your cell, the owner slowly pulling the dog back. Not now, Stanbury. Cordell lets out a sigh. Life is unfair, Shaw. I wish I could provide you with better guidance. Perhaps they will come to see sense in the future. Shaw, it really is a great shame to see you like this. I'm sorry it had to come to this, Robin. Let us hope it can be cleared up once we reach land. Until then, try to keep spirits up, please. For your sake, and my own. Take care. Re-end your journey. Sink into yourself and stare at the cell walls. Robin Shaw. I must admit I never expected to see you leading the charge upon the shore. You were Hunt's own selection. I had little faith in the man's judgment. I see that doubt was not misplaced. What was the purpose of this expedition? What did you send us to find? It is a private matter, and judging by your current situation, you have done naught to earn such information. Minerva Appleton grips her cane tight, her eyes upon you, judging, piercing. You must not take this fate as a negative, Shaw. It would be beneficial of you to see the silver lining. Your journey is at an end now, Shaw. Finally, you may rest. Some weeks later. Here it is, final draft. Should be ready for print in tomorrow's copy. The Tin Food Company investing so heavily in an expedition like this. Wonder what they were looking for. What do you think my next investigation is on? You never stop, do you? No wonder you love those explorers and survivalists. The idea of taking a rest doesn't register to you, does it? No, it doesn't. Disappearing for a year, then coming back with us. An epic tale of survival against the elements at the end of the world. Here, I was thinking you'd finally gotten yourself killed. I'm afraid to say you haven't seen the last of me. Not at all. Bet you bloody Egypt. What is it, Clive? I'm left-handed. I'd throw a punch with my left hand. But with the current blocking, it looks better if they throw with their right. Then change the bloody blocking then. Ah, right you are, Clive. Your attention to detail is impeccable. It's what you pay me for. Can you believe it, old chum? 2 weeks and the Tale of the Temperance, our tale, will be on stage. Look at this. Our old scrap-up, just as I remember it. The way you remember it, it's got more holes in it than cheese. Ah, perhaps I am getting up there in years. It's a good thing to grow old, I've learned. Don't you think, old friend? Aye, I do. All right, who ordered the full fry? A patron raises their hand. Here, Junior, here's the musician. Come on now, can't you see the resemblance? It's my brother, Grimley. I can tell him to keep it down if you like. Not at all, not at all. He's doing a tremendous job. Ah, you hear that, Grimley? Aye, aye. Ah, always humble. Aww. Please welcome Lady Ingrid Cordelia Weston. Wardell enters the gala. To the shock of many, a dog follows at her side, the woman gently nuzzling the creature's head. Alf, Alf. Try not to get too excited, Stanbury. It's only a gala. Lady Weston, what is the meaning of this? There, you call me by name, yet I have no idea who you are. Well, you should know that. I was not asking. You cannot bring a mutt with you. How odd. I seemed perfectly capable of doing so a moment ago. Alf. Yes, yes, this way, Stanbury. Many hands to shake, names to forget, that sort of bother. I'd prefer to be home before late. The pups need feed. Wardell moves across the room, her faithful dog in tow. I love that. Nutley and Casher stand at the entrance to the barber's shop belonging to Arthur Nutley Sr. Nervous? Always, yes. But are you more or less nervous than usual? Less nervous. More giddy? A good sort of nervous, I suppose. Nutley enters, followed by Casher. Is that him? He's coming this way. Arthur Nutley Sr. spots his son from across the shop. Arthur? My goodness, is it really you? Father, The doctor isn't able to begin his sentence, interrupted by the barber throwing his arms round him, granting him a constricting hug. It's you! My boy, you're alive! The younger Arthur hesitates, surprised, before returning the hug from his father. I am. Does your mother know? Your sister? Unless they've read it in the paper. Speaking of, I wrote something for you. Nutley hands his father an envelope. Please read it, sometime when I am not here. Of course, I will. Kasha clears her throat. Pleased to meet you, sir. Kasha Belford. Ah, I don't think I didn't notice you. How do you know my son? I hope he hasn't gotten himself in trouble. Arthur, in trouble? Hardly. Father, Kasha and I are, well, I think you see that we're an item. Yes. Arthur Senior pauses for a moment before a grin appears on his face. Son, you have been busy. Come, sit, I have much to hear. Templeton sits alone in his office within the Apperton Botanical Gardens. Reaching into his front pocket, he pulls out a single cigarette, places it in his mouth and lights it up. That will be getting. Whoa. The air was cold, of flake and white. Captain made a pledge. For the ice I prayed that leads revealed some charted course ahead. Of home I'll reach, of warmth near found, through sail to comfort's bed, a hunger drew the desperate here. It's one that I have fed. What did I do when still hearts broke and courage did abscond? I've led these souls, so help the gods, out of the pale beyond. At the temperance behind. Yeah. Did we get out of it? Do we get any background from us? Or is that it? That seems to be it. Wow. I have multiple things to say about this game. I think first of all the art style was really cool. I liked that none of the decisions were timed, that you could look at, so even when, you know, the tent was on fire and the boat was filling up with water and stuff, you could look at what was in each room and then decide what you wanted. I did in the end turn off the Decodrum bit because that was driving my head in. It was the reason I died both times, and I think just because we were near the end I was just like, let's just get rid of that. we don't need that, we're so close. And especially that it said that we gained 5, but it didn't add it on, so it stayed at 0, so I thought we'll turn it off. I enjoyed the story. I thought the story was really good. And I think especially like ironing out the issue that we had with it's getting very loud. Ironing out the issues that we had with playing it docked. They actually did get that for a small company. They did get that sort of fixed rather quickly. Because it only came out pretty much when we first started playing it, so it did kind of fix itself rather quickly, which was nice. The only thing I would say with games like this is, for me personally, I find them extremely stressful. Especially when you can see, I find it in Baldur's Gate as well, where I've been playing a bit of Baldur's Gate recently, where it says who approves and who disapproves. Seeing that loyalty come up as like plus or minus is very tricky. And I kind of struggle with that, as you know, my anxiety makes me a people pleaser. So the idea that I can't make everyone happy with one of the selections, like you're always going to piss someone off. I think there's a learning curve with that, to be honest. I think it is a learning direction for me, that you can't always make everyone happy. You do have to compromise. You do have to, in leadership, make calls that people aren't a fan of. But I think really cool. I think probably wouldn't play it again like straight away. I'd probably like give it a little while to let some decisions kind of come out of my mind and then go into doing more. But I've enjoyed this game. I have enjoyed playing it, and I'm glad we got to finish it, because there was a point when it wasn't opening that I was like, we are never going to finish this game, and I'm just going to leave it just sat. And I don't like doing that with games, so I am glad we did get to finish Pale Beyond. If you want to check it out for yourself, I believe it's on Steam. It's on Switch. I don't know if it's on any other consoles at the moment, but it's definitely Steam and Switch. So go and check it out if you guys want to, and you think you can do better than me, which the answer is probably a yes. So obviously I didn't upload anything over the course of December. I wanted to apologise for that now. Life just got in the way. I find Christmas very stressful anyway, but my anxiety just during Christmas time. I don't know why, it just does. And it kind of left me feeling very like, oh my gosh. Working really long hours as well. Like I think I actually did, the last week that I worked, I did the equivalent of 6 days in the space of 5. So I was very much like, by the end of that week I was like, I'm done. But it's kind of been leading up to that for the last few weeks, so it's not been grand. That's gonna go to sleep. Don't go to sleep. But yeah, I like the fact you can turn off the Decodrum settings. Just suddenly thought needed to say that. Yeah, so hopefully January, this video will be the one going up on the 3rd? Yes, Wednesday the 3rd. And I will record another Miniko's Night Market for the 10th. And then hopefully when I've got the 10th one sorted, if there's time, I'll record another Spiritfarer for the Saturday. But some plans have changed last minute, so I'm currently like, oh my god. I went to record yesterday, and in true fashion, my family decided to start drilling shelves into the wall that's behind me. Not in my room, but on the other side of the wall. So I was like, I can't record. There's no way that the mic is going to pick me up on top of that. But then we've had... I've just been chilling over Christmas. Christmas Eve we were out, Christmas Day obviously very busy day, and Boxing Day is quite a busy day for us, so it's kind of like the first time that I've kind of had to sit and record something. And I was really nervous to record again. I will tell you guys no lie, I was sat here for a good 5 minutes before hitting record, because I was so nervous. I felt so out of touch with it, and then kind of I just started, and I feel better. I'm going to be kinder to myself this year. I've decided that's going to be my New Year's resolution, because I try to, at the moment, the way in which I record is very similar to how someone would do a stream. So I basically turn around and sort of say to people like I'm recording. It's going to be 2 hours, so I've got to sit here for at least 2 hours to get it sorted. And I realised I don't have to do everything in one swoop. I can take my time with stuff. Especially I was watching recently Jacksepticeye do his Spider-Man 2 series. And my brain just went, he's getting up and going for a wee, he's going to the toilet, he's stopping to go get a drink, you can pause on OBS, so it's no editing. You just go 1 minute, pause, come back, I'm back. If it takes, if you record an hour in the morning and an hour in the evening when you've got more time, so be it. So I think I'm going to kind of try and go with that. which would be very lovely and very nice. But yeah, I'm going to try and be a bit kinder to myself this year, and hopefully that by doing that, you guys will hopefully get some more videos. But yeah, I hope you guys have enjoyed this game. If you have any suggestions for things for me to play in the future, let me know. I've kind of got several lists going on at one time, so yeah, just let me know, and I will see you with the next episode, which will be Miniko's Night Market. I will see you there. Or maybe Spiritfarer if I manage to get a Saturday video up. We'll see. Anyway, I will see you next time. Hope you all had an amazing festive period and New Year. And I will see you next time. Bye everyone.